to our anime show. I am a Green Queen.
And I'm Binge Monster.
It has been quite the summer season, wouldn't you say, Binge Monster? There have been many shows, some of which I've watched, some of which were on my radar, some of which were on my radar and still I did not watch. So we're gonna get into all the weeds of the last season, the summer season of anime, and we are also gonna go ahead and look forward into the next season of anime. This is gonna be our fall 2024 season. We're gonna highlight some key ones that have a lot of buzz. We're going to highlight some that we're excited for. We're going to give you the dish on what we watched, what we didn't watch, and so forth. So stay tapped in with us until the end of this episode to look forward to the next season of anime. Yo, so Binge Monster, go ahead and give me just like a quick little summary about what your summer 2024 anime watching season was like.
Better than last summer, minus
Ooh.
Bleach. I was just thinking about how this
Ooh.
year's summer season compared to last year's summer season, and I remember feeling like pretty distinctly that last summer was not a great season for anime, and strangely, there wasn't, I don't believe, a single like sports related anime that I was watching last season. I was just looking at the ones that did come out: Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, Mushoku Tensei season 2, and Zom 100 were like the main things with Bleach. But other than that, there wasn't like a whole lot that I had watched that season. My Happy Marriage was like a random one that I wasn't expecting to like.
They just announced season 2.
I heard. No, but I think, mostly the season, the summer season this year has been pretty good. It's I think, it's been consistent. There's been a good mix of different types of shows. I am definitely really excited about what we're going to see in fall, but definitely think that they were really good. A couple things that I really enjoyed, as always, were Slime. Reincarnated as a slime is one of my favorite shows. It's just really consistent. It feels good to watch it every single week, even though I know a lot of people had some problems with it because it wasn't as action packed, I think, as I expect out of a show like that. But I really, really enjoyed it. Good mix of like drama and calmness. It wasn't super overwhelming. I thought the animation was well done. Tower of God, and really, I mean, especially from season 1 and having read it, was really excited about it. I took a break from reading it for quite some time, and it got me right back into the mix of reading it again, and I'm almost caught up again, so I'm really excited about that. But that said, in all transparency, I don't think the music quite hits the same as it did in season 1. I love Kevin Pinkin. I love his work. I don't know if he did season 2 or not, but somehow it didn't feel the same.
Wait, Kevin Penkin did the music for
Tower
Tower
of
of God season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's the Made in Abyss guy.
It is. Yeah.
And
Love
that,
love
I
him.
mean,
Love
yeah,
his work.
yeah.
So and I think that, like, largely speaking, it wasn't like as big of a bang, maybe necessarily compared to season 1, but I hope people really stick with it because the manga is so good. And then for me, kind of like out of nowhere, I Parry Everything, which you would love, by the way. You would love it.
Really?
Yes, you would love it. Came
Is
out of
it
nowhere.
is it very combat? It's like I'm when I'm thinking I
Kind
Parry
of.
Everything, I'm thinking like a One Punch Man, where it's like, oh, it takes one punch, or it's literally, I mean, this is anime. That I know that the main character, literally parries everything. So
Yeah.
like, what does that entail? Like, what does that, like, how are they parrying with like their personality too? Like, is there a lot of like actual martial things that we're seeing? Are they under like, I think I have more questions, which I don't know if they're questions of interest because I'd like to watch it, or questions of I guess a question has to be interest. I don't know. I'm proving my own point wrong.
Let me just say that the main character, if he is not on the ballot for best boy, even though he's a man, but I would riot because he's probably one of the most
Wow.
absolutely pure individuals I've seen in anime in quite some time, and not pure to a unbelievable fault. Like
Mm.
he's just a good person, and um has as a part of his journey to get to where he is now, been told across several different disciplines of what it means to be an adventurer that he is not good enough in any of those skills that one needs to obtain in like a, a reasonable amount of time to be considered that class. So in this world, like if you want to be a mage or a swordsman or a spy or a thief or a fist bearing warrior, you would like before you go off and like work as an adventurer, you have to go to a school where you're taught by a person who's like an expert in that field several skills, and
Mm-hmm.
then if you pass the school then you can go be an adventurer in that class. And he literally attended all
Oh.
of the schools, and in each of the schools impressed the people so much in like the first week because he has so much like latent potential, but he couldn't learn any
Uh-huh.
of the skills. He just like didn't have the talent for it. And
Yeah.
so he was like kicked out of every school, but all of them were like, there is something about this guy that is so great, but damn, he can't be a swordsman because he can't do anything more than parry, or damn, he can't be a thief because he can't do any more than like a stealth walk, but like no other skills, or like the mage one, like he could only like light
Oh.
his finger with a light, like he couldn't actually like shoot spells out of his hands. But like in all of the schools, he had this like unbelievable potential where all the leaders were like, he could replace me one day, and then like a month later, they were like, wow, he's useless, but something. And
Oh.
so the only real skill he learned was like to parry, which is why he got kicked out of the swordsman school. But he's so good at it, like so unbelievably good at it, that he literally can parry a dragon. And people are like, what? Like, so he trained from like 13 to 30 in just those one skills that he picked in all the schools, and he maxed it out. And now he's like the hope of the world, you know. And so like it's a great journey where he is so humble and he's so kind, and he's people are like, how did you just parry that thing? Like he's like like and like he comes across a goblin and it ends up being like this emperor goblin that's like 1 in a billion, and he's like, so this is what it's like fighting a goblin, and everyone else is terrified because they've never seen a goblin like this, and obviously that's not a normal goblin. And he defeats it,
Mm.
and he's like, geez, like I knew I wasn't strong, but like, man, like goblins are tough. And like walked away with this clearly misguided understanding that like everyone fights goblins at that level. Meanwhile, he just like defeated a god, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's so good. It's so pure.
Interesting.
It is martial though, but a
Interesting.
part of it is also just like, I'm not saying it's like One Punch Man. It's definitely more martial than One Punch Man, no question.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But
That's why I was like, is he is it lighthearted, or is
yeah,
it to feel like a show, is it a shonen? Like is it
it kind of
we're
is, but
watching him.
it's more lighthearted.
Okay.
It's like a yeah. The drama is not really there. What's really beautiful to watch is this like really humble guy who actually has no idea how strong he is defeat these like crazy things and do it like to protect people in like the most purest way, where you're like, that dude deserves the world. Someone tell him how special he is. No one's telling him how special he is, you know. And it's like frustrating, but it's like, yeah, it's a really good show. I saw it on
So
TikTok.
interesting.
I hadn't. It's on High Dive, by the way. You can't watch it on Crunchyroll. I thought it may be on Netflix, but I was watching it on High Dive. I'll give you my credentials. It came out of
Mm.
nowhere, and honestly, it might have been my favorite show of the season by a very close margin to Slime.
Fascinating.
But it's really, really good.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's so funny because I post you, oh, is it like lighthearted or is it like a shonen? And I was like, I not that those two aren't
It's both.
a Venn diagram where
Yeah.
they can be both
Right.
and so forth, but I I have been watching Elusive Samurai, and that's, I mean, we'll get into the weeds. Pretty much that's like the only one that I've really been able to keep up with, but it's for a good reason, which I'll tell you. But Elusive Samurai, I'm watching it and I really like it because it, I'm finding just encapsulates a lot of things that I just am fascinated in. Like I'm fascinated in like the Edo period. I'm fascinated in, you know, the hierarchies, the war of it. Like it's just fascinating to me. Uh and especially samurai, like and how different samurai do that and so forth. And the thing that this show does that is so interesting is there are times where it feels very like Naruto season 1
Mm.
amongst the kids, and like amongst the
Oh, sure.
kids and like the topics, and like how the kids are like really like in charge of like this thing, and like the adults around them like are not holding them back. In fact, the adults around them are like, nah, let the kids do it, so like they'll have these like very lighthearted kind of like, oh, if I were a little kid watching these, I would imagine that I would be like, oh yeah, I can be a grown-up too, like very like uh encouraging in that way or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then they'll have scenes about like where they're talking about somebody, or like there's a villain or there's a fight happening, and it's like, in fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, it is most of the times when they're giving sort of like exposition on who some of the adult characters are, and it's like very graphic and very dark and so done in like such a really fascinating cinematic way. And obviously we're both actors and I'm an actress in film, so there's an element of film concepts and how we're framing things, and they use CG in this, so they're kind of able to do things that feel like they're a filmed movie, even though obviously they're not, like it's not real people and so forth. But the fluidity of the characters, and it's not always in the fighting. It's in like this otherworldly, very artistic exposition that they're giving to offer to the greater story, or like who a character is and how they kind of are involved in the story. It's so interesting to me. And so what I'm really liking about Elusive Samurai is it's not only like a fun story, and like I think it will get to a little bit of like a deeper place where like, oh, we're not just watching this kid like learn how to be, like some real shit is gonna happen to this kid. Not that it already hasn't, but anyway, um you know I'm waiting for the story to really hit
Mm-hmm.
for me. But at the same time, it's such a delicious, like artistic experience to watch it
Mm-hmm.
that is like enough for me right now.
For now, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's enough
Did the
for me
season
right now.
end? Did the season end yet, or is there one more episode?
I don't think so. I know that there's 10, and I don't think the season's over in 10. I would imagine it's 12. So I don't think it's over yet. And I'm actually on episode 9. So I'm
Okay,
not fully caught up
sure.
necessarily. But like I really like it, but not for any of the reasons I would say for other anime that I've watched.
This has been a pretty big season, or a pretty big year, I would say, for samurai in general, right? With, I know
Mm.
this isn't anime related, but with Shogun winning like all of those Emmys, did it win the most Emmys ever? Is that what it was? I mean, I don't know if it was the most ever, but it was like a crazy amount of Emmys that it won.
Well, the main actor whose name totally escapes me has been like, the like Japanese swordsman samurai in like every movie, and he
Yeah,
won an Emmy for his work in this, which it was just like, right, it was one of
yeah,
those things where you're like, wow, like the industry has finally given him like well, I mean, actually not finally, because like, he's had some roles with subs. I don't mean to say that. I don't know his full discography and his full career, but it feels right that the man put all this work in and got an Emmy like that. I was like, this is good.
yeah.
But I don't know about like winning the most. But I know he won, and then I know the other actress won, who's, again, her name escapes me as well, but she won.
Yeah, it shatters the Emmys record with 18 wins in one season.
Wow, that's great.
18 is insane.
Yeah, again, this is for, I guess it's like, it's a big year for samurai, as you were saying. It's a
Yeah.
big year for samurai.
So, you were talking about being really busy watching something else this season. What were you watching? I mean,
I
I
have
know.
been watching. Yeah, of course you know. I've been watching Naruto. Naruto is the second of the big three that I'm watching. I am almost done. I guess I'm not actually. I'm in the Great Ninja War. I guess I'm not almost done. But I like have been trying so hard to get through it that like it when I sit down at night to watch something, I'm like, well, I'll watch Naruto because I
Yeah,
have to finish it. I have to finish it. It's been way too long and it's so good right now. Like it's so I mean, I think I watched a filler episode because I was like I don't know, I want to know what they did when they were kids, I guess.
yeah.
Like I'm just at that point where I'm like I just actually enjoy these characters and this shows so much that like I know that this is kind of a filler and I know it doesn't really mean anything, but like I want to see them like run around and fight each other as kids. Like I think that's cool.
That's a good place to be if you
It's
have that opportunity to like watch the filler and you want to. It's very telling, I think. Where are you in the Great Ninja War right now?
so right now I'm just past spoilers for Naruto, although I'm sure everyone on the planet has watched it except me.
That's not true.
Um I am right after like Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji have like their big thing, and Naruto just had a big thing with the Nine Tails, and he basically is like, you know what? Like I'm my own boss, and like all the toadies, I think they're called toadies. They drop down and like lock in all the tails and the head and everything, and he's like, and you know what? I'm not some little kid anymore, and like walks out, and I'm like, yeah. He was in the eyeball of the thing. I'm like, you are straight up in the eyeball of one of the most dangerous creatures in this whole thing. But I mean, you're not some stupid kid anymore, man. I love him. He is so just he's Naruto. Like he's just I don't there's no words for this boy. There's no words for this boy. And then he's running. He's running with oh, what is his name? Killer B. And
Yeah.
Killer B's, he's doing his rap thing and he's like, "Hey, what you got going on there, man?" Just like Naruto's glowing. Because he sealed the Nine Tails again. Oh man, it's just like so. But I think I'm getting into what's gonna probably be a coming of their time for like Neji and Kiba. No, Kiba's the dog's name, but the boy's name
No, Kiba is the
is
boy's name. Akamaru
oh,
is the
Kiba
dog.
is the boy. Oh gosh, okay, sorry, I get them confused all the time. I think like they're about to have some kind of moment. I get them confused. I don't know. I get the point is Tom confused.
It's not your fault. Actually, you saying that is like gold, and I want to clip this and send this to some people. I get into fights with people fairly often with how absolutely useless Kiba is in Shippuden, and the fact that you don't remember their name is absolutely proof of that. Like Kiba had a role to play in Naruto. He did. He was a part of the Sasuke retrieval arc mission, even though
Mm-hmm.
he got beat. And to be fair, a lot of others also
Like
got
all
beat.
of them got
I
beat.
know, I realize that, but like literally after that, he did nothing.
He
He was
disappeared.
in the tuning exams. He was like such a problem for Naruto, like such a problem, and they were positioning him as this like strong Genin, and for Genin, he was, and then he truly became background fodder, like in the ensemble. Like he
You
just
know,
And I get wrecked for saying things like this, but I don't care. I just truly believe it. Like they did him dirty.
okay, that's fair because it's not like you're blaming him, but if you say they did him dirty, like, yeah,
Oh
okay,
no,
okay.
I mean I can't blame him. He just was written that way. Like he became like not everybody who was the shit as a child grows up to be that guy, and he just wasn't that guy.
But do you I mean, he just wasn't that guy. Of course, you've watched this show like almost a dozen times.
Yeah.
This cast is enormous. Like
Yes, it is.
everyone, how are you gonna give everybody their turn? Like, how is everybody gonna help out? Right?
I,
Like, how is
I'm just
everybody gonna get to do it?
the thing is like I don't know that you need to, but I do think it's reasonable to have seen a measurable amount of growth, and
So
you
you're
don't.
telling me? You're telling me he's about to be like ain't shit in this thing? Like,
I'm not saying I mean, you watch and you tell me if you feel as though he has evolved. Because I can't think of a single jutsu that evolved. Like, there's not a new jutsu that I can think of. By the way, I feel
mm,
similar about Rock Lee. I think they did Rock Lee absolutely dirty in Shippuden. I think he
interesting.
could be so much stronger than what they. I mean, like he was a whole problem in Naruto.
Yes. Yes.
A whole problem. He handled Kimimaru. Granted, when he fought Kimimaru, he was drunk, but like, boy has potential and had probably one of the top two fights in Naruto against Gaara. Like, come on, that fight
Yeah.
is still like up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I hurt more for Lee because that's my boy.
That's my boy. It's my
But
fucking guy.
anyways, all right. There were shows from the summer of 2024 that we dropped.
Yes.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one because I've been talking a lot.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So here's the deal. One of these is dropped, but I'm gonna get to it
Okay.
because I liked it. Though that one is Pseudo Harem. It's been dropped, but I'm gonna get to it. Like, I did like it. I think I got into like episode like 5 or 6. It was cute. I'm sure I'll sit down one night and absolutely binge it and finish it. So I'm gonna finish it. Everyone, I'm gonna finish it.
Why did you drop it?
Oh, time. Like, it's just time. Again, it's like I sit down and especially I mean, you all know I crochet and I stream on Twitch and I do a couple other things, and there's things that I have to do in my video games in order to, I feel like, present a good product when I'm going to be streaming for, my viewers. So like that takes up some of my recreational time. And then I was crocheting a blanket, and sometimes the week to week stuff when I have projects or other things I have to do, it's hard because I can't watch it in subbed because I can't do something else while I do it. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
always have that time to sit down and watch stuff. So that's why Naruto is great, because if I'm doing something, I can be listening in, I can be looking over, and like I'm still getting what we're doing.
Right.
Like I can crochet and listen to Naruto and it's fine because I'm watching Naruto Shippuden in dub. So it might be a cop out. I'm sure some, aggro anime bro is hearing this and going, "You're not a real fan. You haven't even watched One Piece, and like
Oh.
you're a stupid girl." But I'm standing on business. I
Okay.
got shit to do, and I don't got no fucking time to be watching everything in sub. Because I was also watching Elusive Samurai in sub because I was pretty week to week with that one until like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I think that's why I'm an adult. I have a lot of things to do, and maybe committing to more than 3 shows is like really hard sometimes. Really hard sometimes.
I get that.
Yeah. And then the other one that I dropped, but like, can I even say I dropped it if I never even watched episode 1? I still don't even know where I can stream it. This is Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad Isekai. Where the hell do I even watch that one? I forgot about it.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what to say. And then I didn't watch Tower of God season 2 because I spent the season catching up in Tower of God season 1.
Mm.
So can
Did
I
you catch
say I
up?
dropped it? I'm
Did you?
caught up. Well, I'm caught up in. I can start season 2.
Okay.
So I did put work in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I had like a lot of plates spinning, but like none of them were the plates that I had previously committed to or talked about.
What did you think of Tower of God season one?
I liked it. I wanted more, and didn't like the deal with Rachel. Like, I didn't like that now everyone's gonna try to get Rachel. I was like, I don't know. And then, like, she backstabs him at the end, right?
Yes.
Did I imagine that? Yeah. So, like,
No.
I was so, like, I'm not a. I think I was so done with Rachel, like, 2 episodes before she did that I was annoyed when she finally did that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't like the Rachel thing. I just didn't like her. I just hated her. In fact, I just wanted Bam to move on so badly that it might have given me a bad taste in my mouth. But I know that it gets better because you talk so highly of it.
I mean, well, you're supposed to hate her. She's the villain. Like
I yeah I
she is terrible. I hate her too.
God.
Um, yeah, yeah. It does get extremely good. Season 2, like I said, it's not. I don't know. Like it flows so much more cleanly in the manhwa than it does on the anime. Like I don't know how to explain it. Gosh, I'm yawning. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like it just flows so much more smoothly on the manhwa. I'm worried because I know that they're trying to chug the story along as quickly as possible to get people to stay in it, and it truly does get
Yeah.
better. But I'm worried about season 2 as well for a similar reason that like there's not a lot of gusto. I'm not seeing like a ton of like huge support. But anyways, I dropped Elusive Samurai for similar reasons. I got really busy. I am a little embarrassed though because I did like it. I actually probably will watch it. You know,
Yeah.
I crushed I Parry Everything because by the way, I watched I Parry Everything in the last 2 weeks. Like the whole season, I watched in the last like 2 weeks because I hadn't watched it from the beginning. Like I wasn't like watching it all along. I just discovered it on TikTok and
Yeah.
was like, let me just crush this. So I
Mhm.
am more than capable of going back and doing the same to catch up to Elusive Samurai, but I just haven't had a chance. And like I said, I think it has more to do with some of my earlier critique, which is like I was really worried that it was too young, and that like I would like I'm a little over that, and I'm looking for slightly more mature stories, which is why I'm really excited for the fall season. And I'll talk about that, but. I did enjoy it, and like I said, like we talked about, the animation was stunning, and I do like the period, and I like the themes, just like you. So I probably will go finish it, but um, besides that, there were two others. I started Suicide Squad and got to like episode 2 or 3 and just dropped it. I don't know. Didn't catch my attention. Didn't excite me. Don't think I'll go back. Glad to
Mm.
have somewhat supported it. Would be supportive of future kind of like DC anime and like other universe combining with anime content.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Probably won't go back to it. One I will definitely not go back to and finish is The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human.
Mm.
I loved the poster initially, thought it was going to be really great. The animation was so awful. I have like absolutely zero interest in the main character. There's like nothing
Wow.
interesting in it. Like the thing is that there are often these like either isekais or these stories where clearly like there is a human that is in a situation they're not supposed to be in. Like I said, whether it's isekai or in this case, this person is like in the demon army but is actually human, and like they, I don't know, have like they're smart. They have like a great strategic skill set and they're able to display that. But there's so many other anime that also contain a main character where their intelligence is the main like pro for that character, or they're the main asset that that character brings to the table. And such more impressive ways do they display that than this character did.
Mhm.
So I just,
Interesting.
it's just like a complete waste of time as far as I'm concerned.
I was interested. I was shocked to hear you say like you didn't like the animation. I feel like that's such a been there, done that thing. I feel like they don't even
Yeah.
make anime where I could say I don't like the animation.
No,
Like
if
was it the
you,
style or was like it not good?
no, it just wasn't good. Like if you watch it, it just looks like they didn't try. And
Crazy.
it could be because some of it is CG. I don't know. Like it
Yeah.
it didn't blend well. It looked forced. It was just not good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It just wasn't good.
We wanted to talk about wild cards, and wild cards meaning like what are some anime that came out this season that maybe we didn't watch but like totally blew up, or like were not on our radar but now they are. Like what are some wild cards of the season for you?
I mean, the main one was Storia Wand and Sword.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I've heard of that one.
saw that all over TikTok. It was
Yes.
regular, not so much in the last like 2 weeks, but certainly in like the last like 3 or 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, even it was regularly brought up on my For You page, and also saw stuff on Instagram and on YouTube too. Um, I guess I have to give it a try. Like it was probably of the more popular. It got more attention as far as what I observed than like even Oshinoko, which for me was the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if I can call that a wild card, but like it was the highest rated Oshinoko season two, season three. What are we? Season two? I think it
Season
was season
2.
two. Yeah,
Yeah.
was actually the highest rated series this season on my anime list. So, like whether or not it was like as popular as maybe we were able to observe just by sheer like seeing it on our For You page or not, it
Mm-hmm.
was still the highest rated. At least that was the case as I wrote these notes last week. It was the highest rated.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess both of them were wild cards, but like definitely with Story Wand and Sword, I don't know. I just felt like there's been a lot of Wand and Swords, like with Mashal and with what was the other one? I forget. Like it was like close to uh Harry Potter and something else like that I had mentioned even like 2 seasons ago maybe. I forget, but it
There
took
was
place in like a magic
MASH.
school, and
Oh gosh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
I forget what it was called, and it had this
Remember.
like girl who was like clearly from Japan who had like a katana, and everyone else used a wand and a different like a European style sword, and it doesn't matter. It was all right. It wasn't terrible, but I just kind of was a little over that trope, so I didn't feel like I needed to watch it. But apparently, it was really good. So who knows? Maybe I will go back. That was the big wild card, and then
Yeah.
um, things that were maybe I can't call this a wild card, but things that were obviously very good that I didn't actually watch was My Hero. Like I know My Hero was good. I
This
know, I know,
one
I
is
know.
so surprising to me. I'm
I
so
know. It's
surprised.
because I got anxious. Like after 4 weeks of missing it, just because I couldn't watch it, I was like, I'm not gonna start this. Like I want to wait until it's
Yeah.
all caught up. It was also like right on the cusp of the manga ending and me seeing stuff on TikTok, and
Yeah.
it was just a little too much. And so
Yeah.
now that the season is almost over, like I will go back and rewatch them. Did you watch? Did you stay caught up with that or?
What's so funny, I think I was literally up until maybe I think I missed like the last 3 episodes of it.
Okay.
Cuz it was a full 2 core season,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
I think I was like definitely in like 20 something. Like,
Sure.
but I think that there's like 2 or 3 episodes that capped this season that I missed
Okay.
or didn't watch, which is as we're getting here, I'm going, "Oh wait, yeah, I watched My Hero Academia too." But except for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
shocked
watch
you
it
haven't
though.
watched that one.
I will though. I'm gonna watch the whole thing in like a weekend probably. Like I'll just
Yeah.
dedicate a whole weekend to it. I love My Hero, so
It's gonna be a lot.
I know. I know.
I don't have anything to add to wild cards. Besides, I guess Oshinoko, but Oshinoko is that one where, again, I'm like, man, now I have to binge like 2 seasons, and I feel like Oshinoko you can't watch in dub. I don't know
Oh,
why.
I don't know.
Like because it's music. I'm like, I don't. I would rather watch that in sub. Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna sing that title? So I don't even know if it's the title song, but like, were they
It's
gonna sing
it,
like that
it
iconic
always
song
sucks.
in English? Like, I
Maybe that's a
don't
tough
even want to
take.
do that. I
I
don't
hear
want to
you.
do that.
I hear you. Maybe that's a rough take, and maybe I'm gonna get backlash for that. But I hate listening to Japanese songs that are dubbed into English. It just it almost never works. The exception is maybe the Smash opening theme song for
Wait,
Super Smash, like Ultimate.
colors fade into this fire of light.
Yeah. But
Yo,
like,
that's the only good translated song. I'm
yeah,
dying.
but like for example, like if you listen to Bluebird, which I fucking love from Shippuden, the opening,
Yeah.
and you listen to
Mm-hmm.
it spoken like sung in English,
It's not
doesn't hit the same.
because the thing is like what's beautiful about music and art and singers is like every singer for the most part is gonna have like a different vocal quality too. So it's like when you hear the iconic song, like when you hear Bluebird or when you hear that title track from Oshinoko, um and I'm trying to remember who the artist is. I know the artist for that Yasobi. When you hear that song and you hear Yasobi doing it, I'm like, no one's gonna do it like Yasobi. They're gonna do it good, but like the song that gave me any kind of like, oh, I like that song, it's not gonna be that because it's gonna be a completely different artist.
For sure. And then once they translate it, it's like it's not beautiful. Like it's not. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Like Japanese is also, I think, a very beautiful language, and like
Mm-hmm.
like even just to say, like, instead of calling it bluebird, like aoi is such a beautiful, more beautiful word than blue.
Mm.
It just is like it's a
Mm.
more of a romantic, you know, the I don't know if I want to call it like it's their romantic undertones. That's not the right word. It just sounds better to the ear when you hear Japanese songs written in Japanese versus like the translated version. It just sounds strange.
And I wonder if with Ali, if there's a there has to be some sort of relationship with like our minds and vowels versus consonants.
Yeah,
Blue bird, and then like Ali, like there has to be something a little. Maybe it feels more airy. It feels more free, like a bird, just because it's open, vowels or what have you. It's just a take from me. Okay, so looking forward, bum ba da bum, we made it, team. We're looking at the 2024 fall season of anime. Okay, first on this list is Bleach. A Thousand Year Blood War is finally coming back. That was like a good 6 month or a year hiatus, right? I
yeah,
don't
six
actually
months, I
remember, but it's
think.
been a long time.
Yeah,
And obviously, everybody watching this has been waiting for this for decades. It feels like um and I am admittedly not caught up in Thousand Year Blood War. I did not finish. Minor spoiler, but after Rukia had her big thing, big thing, I was like, I need some time because I was weeping on the floor. It made me. I was so beautiful. I was like, I can't watch anything now, and I just never went back. But yeah, Bleach so I don't know where we are in the story. I have no idea where we are, but I mean, I know contextually that this. I mean, we're in the absolute heat of the franchise or the
yes,
greater story, right? Is
yes.
that fair to say?
You're not. You're also not far, which is good. You're not far from being caught up. So
Really,
not really. No, I think
that's
a couple
phenomenal
episodes. I
news.
think. Yeah, I don't think it'll take you long. You probably knock it out in an evening.
Mm. Music to my ears.
Yeah. And it's worth it. Like every episode is like movie
Yeah.
quality. Like it's so stunning. So it's absolutely worth it. Um, I'm very excited for Bleach too. Obviously, very very excited. In fact, Rian, who we've had um on the podcast before, a lovely fawn, was just telling me the other day. He called me or texted me out of like literally nowhere and was like, "Why didn't you tell me this was so good? Like why would you tell me that this was so good? Not good, so good." I was like, I know what to tell you, dude. Like I definitely did.
Bleach?
I definitely did. I definitely told you it was worth watching again because he I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. He finally decided to sit down and watch from the beginning of the Thousand Year Blood War arc. So uh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I
he's
was
like,
like,
why
I would
haven't
be
you?
shocked if he hadn't watched Bleach.
No, he definitely watched Bleach. It was just what was
Yeah.
left of the Thousand Year Blood War arc. Yeah, he just hadn't caught
Mm.
up. So besides that, Sword Art, Sword Art
Oh Lord.
Online Alternative Gun Gale Online Season 2. Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online Season 2. Which is like a little bit of a tongue twister. It's been, I actually don't even know how many years. I want to say 6, 7 years, it feels like. But I could be wrong. It's been a while
Wow.
since the first one. So Gun Gale Online is like a spin-off of the initial Sword Art Online franchise where like
Mm.
it revolves around a world where instead of like sword play, the characters shoot guns and there's a different main character, so it's not like the main crew or the main character. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. At least the first season was. We'll see how the second season is, but
Mm.
that is coming back in the fall as well.
And then the next one that I'm actually it's so funny. I know this show is good, but I have such mixed feelings because I'll only have more and more questions as I watch it. I'm always like,
Complicated.
what the as I'm watching it, I'm always like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
I know. I know.
what the fuck is going on? But of course, we were talking about ReZero with the wonderful Subaru. Yeah, Subaru, Natsuki Subaru, who is just, yeah, there he is doing surviving, thriving. I don't know. What do you even say? We haven't had more ReZero in at least like 2 years, right?
Yeah, I think it's been at least 2 years.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit. And I listen, I gotta tell you, I think I have to watch like either a
An
video or
explanation
something,
video.
or
You
yeah, or
should.
rewatch it because I don't quite remember
I probably will
what we're
too.
doing.
I probably will too. Quite frankly, I'm not gonna lie. I usually pride myself on having a pretty good grasp of what's going on. I'm usually good at like remembering the small details and not
Hmm.
really needing a whole lot of support. But even with ReZero, I mean, seasoned anime fans will watch that and go, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, I've had extensive conversations about this, so you're not alone. It's a tough one, but it is really good.
But it is good. That's the
Yeah,
thing. I'm like, my review sounds kind of sus because I'm like, I don't get it, but also it's really good and I do quite enjoy it. But I think what they do is, jarring and exciting, and it makes me. I'm not asking questions and getting annoyed, but I am asking questions and like, what else can they possibly do? Like, where is this going to go? I do have an interest in finding out where it's going to go. But we're
yeah.
getting season 3, so that'll be really exciting.
I am very excited for that. We're also getting the next season of Blue Exorcist, Our No Exorcist. This is the Beyond the Snow saga. I actually awkwardly did not finish. I did start it, and I think I'm like 75-80% of the way through on the previous season of Blue Exorcist. So I know nothing about the upcoming season because I'm not a manga reader. But obviously, like Blue Exorcist is a relatively popular franchise for sure. So I suspect a lot of people will be watching.
And right with that, we have Blue Lock. Blue Lock season 2. And Blue Lock is I won't say any spoilers about Blue Lock because like Blue Lock is just like the Haikyuu we needed in the ending of Haikyuu, in the ending phases of Haikyuu. Blue Lock is absolutely what we needed as far as I'm concerned. It's a really exciting show. There's only been one season and a movie, but I think I've said this before on the podcast because I went to see I paid my damn money and I went and sat my rear in that theater and I saw that movie about Nagi and I went, oh, this is just the entire first season from Nagi's perspective. I didn't maybe have to do all that, but anyway, worth a watch. And if you like Nagi, then you'd probably like the movie. But yeah, we're just continuing in this situation that the boys are going through. So I'm very excited. The way they tell the story, the music. I'm very excited to hear the opening oddly enough.
Mm,
I'm really excited to hear the opening. But this is definitely going to be some heat. I mean, the show is so good.
it is super good. I'm thoroughly excited for Blue Lock season 2. No, I was just gonna say the manga is like exploding right now. Like it's so far ahead. There's so much source material, which is something I usually worry about. Right, like what happens if they catch up? But right now, there's so much source material that it's like not even a concern. So we're so far ahead of where season 2 is. I actually have to like go back and figure out where season 1 ended, but I have a good sense. It'll be a good season. It'll be a really good season for sure.
Yeah. And another one that I'm looking forward to that honestly kind of like I feel like it flew under my radar for so long, and now I watched one trailer and I've been so excited about it since. And they actually, funny enough, so this is I'm talking about Don to Don, which was a super popular manga. Obviously, it got an anime adaptation, and I believe it's a shonen. Don't quote me on that. I don't exactly know, but they recently did a theatrical release of the first 3 episodes, so you could have gone in to see the first 3 episodes of Don to Don in theaters, but it's going to start streaming on Netflix, Hulu, and Crunchyroll. I think in September. It might be already started. I don't know. Why September 18th is in my head, but actually someone fact check me on that. I don't know if that's it, but it's interesting. It's about like high schoolers and it's very like supernatural. They're like hunting ghosts and they're getting like awakened hidden powers and so forth, and it's 2 kids, so you're like it's a boy and a girl, maybe there will be romance. Anyway, so I feel like it's going to have a lot at play, and I feel like it's going to kind of be something really exciting. For some reason, and I didn't watch Mob, it's giving me semi like Mob vibes in like kind of the art style or
Hmm.
like some of the monsters. I don't know why. I'm sure if I watched Mob, I might have a different opinion on what I've just said, but this is a podcast. I'm going to say what I got to say. But I'm really, really excited for it. And the music actually in this one is really cool. And I'm
Hmm.
not just talking about the don 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 thing that they've been putting in some of the trailers. Like the music is actually pretty tight if you look at some of the teaser trailers. Have
It's
you
not.
heard about this one?
Yeah. They an NMIC. I think they had like a whole panel on this, which I didn't go to, admittedly, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not typical that you know you would get a theatrical release of the first 3 episodes of something. I mean, like if you think about like, I mean, Mugen Train was like the biggest one, right? And that was like a whole arc basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is kind of like a newer tactic that they're probably trying to use to generate some revenue, get an early indication into the potential popularity of the show, see how many like people without absolutely any hype are willing to go see a show. Like I'm sure they're testing the waters here, and that must mean that they have some pretty um or I should say like a pretty high degree of confidence in this particular title. So I'll definitely give it a look just because like I said, that's not typical. So it could be indicative of something potentially pretty special. So I'm gonna definitely give it a look. But no, I had not read it and I had not heard of it before, so I'll be excited. Um, there are a couple of other shows that are getting their season 2, besides uh, you know Blue Lock and Sword Art Online Alternative, Shangri La Battle Frontier, and Rurouni Kenshin. The reboot and the Shangri-La Battle Frontier. I'm going to be completely honest. I did not. Oh, it's not called Battle Frontier. It's Shangri-La Frontier. I didn't expect to get a season 2 so quickly. I know that it was a pretty popular series the season that it came out. I imagine that maybe they were able to create a mobile game. If I remember correctly, I think they even created a mobile game. But I
Mm.
am surprised at how quickly they turned this back around. It must have been really popular, especially in Japan. That's the only thing I can think of. Not that it's
Yeah.
not good, and not that I'm not happy to see season 2, but I wasn't like chomping at the bit for a season 2. It was a good season, but
Mm.
we'll see. And then Rurouni Kenshin had a great first season. I look forward to seeing what it looks like in season 2. I think I had given this opinion before, but it has lost a little bit of, I don't know, the animations because it's less grainy, because it's clearly more updated. Some of the, I don't know, like some of the soul of the show feels a little different. Um,
Interesting.
so I don't know, but I will definitely continue to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of beyond those 2 shows, going back to High Dive, as I was talking about earlier, um, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I think it's season 5 with clearly Freya being the focal point of the upcoming season. Should be interesting. Should definitely be
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I think that is a categorically underrepresented show, underappreciated show. I love that show. Um, so I'm excited to see like what happens in season 5 for sure.
And then one last one that I wanted to touch on is Uzumaki. And this is like huge news that this is finally getting its anime adaptation and so forth. I think we actually talked about this on the podcast. Like, it was maybe pushed forward, and maybe, oh yeah, they're gonna make the anime and it didn't happen. They're gonna make the anime and it didn't happen. And this was a manga coming out from like 1998 to 1999, so it's not like a super long series, but it was so impactful. And it's such a, like, I feel like any anime fan has seen an image from the Uzumaki manga, whether they know it or not. It's
Hmm.
definitely a seinen. It's for an older audience, an adult crowd, and I think I can be categorized as a horror film. Um, very, very, very briefly, it essentially follows a character that's in a town, and something weird happens, and then something a little more weird happens, and then something a little more weird happens, until suddenly some like really terrible, awful, unexplainable things are occurring. And maybe it's just me. If this is an adult horror ish thing coming out in the late 90s, I know that this is going to like absolutely make, and but it's, pardon me, it came out in the late 90s, but it's getting the 2024 animation treatment. I know this is absolutely
Mm.
going to make me want to peel my skin back and not exist anymore, so I'm very, very excited. I feel like I'm going on a roller coaster that I'm equal parts gonna hate and be so excited for. Like, this feels like such a moment if we're talking about the history, the greater history of anime and manga. Like, this feels like such a moment that, like, Uzumaki, it's coming out. This is, and it's only gonna be 4 episodes. Like,
I
it's
was
not a
just gonna
long
say,
series.
yeah, only 4 episodes. Well, because I don't know what the start date is. Do we know if it's starting in September, like the rest of the summer or fall, or is it starting in October? Because that would be just the coolest thing to do. Then again, I don't know how big Halloween is in Japan, so maybe that's like
Mm.
the very American voice in my head saying that. But it'd be interesting if they did start it in October.
Wow, it's so much sooner. It's gonna premiere on September 28th.
Oh, okay. So this week. Wow.
Yeah, it's apparently gonna air on Toonami.
Oh, interesting.
Yo, that's so crazy. I'm not exactly sure where it's streaming, but that's crazy. But I would suggest, if you are an adult, go watch the trailer, because I did watch the teaser trailer and it was a little.
A little spooky.
Yeah, of course. It's so weird. It's such a weird story. I don't know if I should like try, because I'm sure the read is not that long, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I wonder if I should read it first or if I should just watch it and go in with a very brief understanding of what might occur. What do you think?
I think you should go in raw and just see what happens.
Have you read it?
I haven't actually. I haven't.
Oh,
Not
oh,
entirely. I've read the first chapter.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I've read the first um, chapter, but I hadn't read beyond that.
Oh, so spooky.
Well, I read the first chapter ironically because one day I was in Barnes and Noble and I saw it and I thought it was potentially like either a data book or a spin-off on the Uzumaki clan from Naruto,
Hmm,
just like wrapped as a different series. And so I was like, oh,
funny.
that's like Naruto related. So I opened it and I was like, this is not Naruto related. This is something completely different. But then I was like, you know what? I've already started this. Let me just finish it. And so I finished it and then I moved on. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize like how important it was back then. Obviously, I know
Mm.
now. I've heard about it now, and I know more about it now than I did even when I read it. But it is what it is. It should be really interesting. Anyways, let's close with what we are actually commit to watching. What are the ones that you're absolutely going to commit to, and then what are your maybes?
Okay. I'm gonna absolutely commit to ReZero. I'm gonna
Okay,
commit to it.
got to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
absolutely commit to Blue Lock. I
Yeah.
I love it. Gonna commit to it. I am gonna commit to Uzumaki.
Okay.
There's only 4, and I know that Al would want to watch it too, so it's easy. If he wants to watch it and I want to watch it, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
My maybe, only because of the circumstances that I have already put forth here. But I'm saying like my maybe is Bleach because like I hope that I watch it and
Yeah.
get caught up and so forth. But I'm not gonna put that pressure on myself.
I will. I will put the pressure on you because after the first episode, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna say you have to watch this. Like it's yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
Um. So
What
my
about you?
absolute commitments are definitely Bleach. I'm committing to My Hero Academia because I have extreme FOMO from not watching it from the past for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Definitely ReZero and definitely Blue Lock. Those are the four that like no matter what I'm definitely committing to. And then my maybes are going to be Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, which I do really want to watch, but I have before waited until the whole season was over and just caught up towards the end. We'll see. My other maybe is Uzumaki. It's only 4 episodes, but I I want to really try to commit. Like, you'll have to tell me if it's really good. I may try to convince Ursha to watch them with me once they're all out.
Mm-hmm.
Like around Halloween. We'll see. She doesn't do
Yeah.
really well with spooky stuff, but let's see if I can make that happen. And then Gun Gale, like I'll give it a try. I generally tend to really have problems with the Sword Art Online franchise as a whole. Well, let's
Mm.
see. Let's see. Maybe it'll be interesting. I do like the animation. It's pretty cool. It's a fun thing to watch, but it's not like it's my favorite franchise. So we'll have to see. But it'd be a lot. 7 is a pretty big order. Those are the ones that like stick
Mm-hmm.
out. And Dun 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 is not even on either of our lists. So like maybe I'll have to sneak that one in there and drop something else. But at
Yeah.
least for now, that's like what I'm committing to, and then that's my maybe. All right. Well, with that, I'm Binge Monster.
And I'm a green queen.